season of sweetbrier and hepatica. The air blew soft. 1,000 singing birds sprang from the soil. The wild goose cried in triumph. Overhead shone the hot sun of the northern summer. From the wilderness came the brigades, bearing their pelts, the hardy traders of the winter posts, striking hot the imagination through the mysterious and lonely allurement of their callings. For a brief season, transient as the flash of a loon's wing on the shadow of a lake, the post was bright with the thronging of many people. The Indians pitched their wigwams on the broad meadows below the bend. The half-breeds sauntered about, flashing bright teeth and wicked dark eyes at whom it might concern. The traders gazed stolidly over their little black pipes, and uttered brief sentences through their thick black beards. Everywhere was gay sound, the fiddle, the laugh, the song. Everywhere was gay color, the red sashes of the voyageurs, the beaded moccasins and leggings of the métis, the capotes of the brigade, the variegated costumes of the Crees and Ojibwas. Like the wild roses around the edge of the muskegs, this brief flowering of the year passed. Again the nights were long. Again the frost crept down from the eternal snow. Again the wolves howled across barren wastes. Just now the girl stood ankle-deep in green grasses, a bath of sunlight falling about her, a tingle of salt wind humming up the river from the bay's offing. She was clad in gray wool and wore no hat. Her soft hair, the color of ripe wheat, blew about her temples, shadowing eyes of fathomless black. The wind had brought to the light and delicate brown of her complexion a trace of color to match her lips, whose scarlet did not fade after the ordinary and imperceptible manner into the tinge of her skin, but continued vivid to the very edge. Her eyes were wide and unseeing. One hand rested idly on the breech of an ornamented bronze field gun. MacDonald, the chief trader, passed from the house to the store where his bartering with the Indians was daily carried on. The other Scotchman in the post, Galen Albret, her father, and the head factor of all this region, paced back and forth across the veranda of the factory, caressing his white beard. Up by the stockade, young Achille Picard tuned his whistle to the note of the curlew. Across the meadow from the church wandered Crane, the little Church of England missionary, peering from short-sighted pale blue eyes. Beyond the coulee, Sarnier and his Indians chocked away at the seams of the long coast-trading bateau. The girl saw nothing, heard nothing. She was dreaming. She was trying to remember. In the lines of her slight figure, in its pose, there by the old gun over the old river, was the grace of gentle blood, the pride of caste. Of all this region her father was the absolute lord, feared, loved, obeyed by all its human creatures. When he went abroad, he traveled in a state almost medieval in its magnificence. When he stopped at home, men came to him from the Albany, the Kenogami, the Missinaba, the Mattagami, the Abitibi, from all the rivers of the north, to receive his commands. Way was made for him, his lightest word was attended. In his house dwelt ceremony, and of his house she was the princess. Unconsciously she had taken the gracious habit of command. She had come to value her smile, her word, to value herself. The lady of a realm greater than the countries of Europe, she moved serene, pure, lofty, amid dependents. And as the lady of this realm she did honor to her father's guests, sitting stately behind the beautiful silver service, below the portrait of the company's greatest explorer.